everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're running a little bit late, but the good news is our agenda has some fluff in it. So we knew that this was going to be a little longer because you guys are all happy to be back networking, and we're so happy to be doing live events again. So I want to welcome everybody to our 48th CONNECTpreneur, and thank you. We have an amazing slate of presenting companies, a lot of people to thank, and come on. We're going to go ahead and get started. So first thing I want to do is thank our sponsors, because, and they're listed on the back page, because without our sponsors, this event would never have happened. And I'll take a few minutes to name them by name. I want to thank George Washington University, the Business School, the Technology Commercialization Office, as well as the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. They've been great partners and supporters of ours. Thank you so much. I want to thank DemPet, Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, Deputy Mayor John and his colleagues. Thank you guys so much for your support, as well as Golden Triangle. We are in the Golden Triangle, and as you guys know, we're trying to revitalize this area for bringing companies that are into innovation, creativity, and the next generation of workers to come back into this awesome town. When I moved here in 1985, Golden Triangle was it. That's why they called it the Golden Triangle, and it's going to be that way very soon. I want to thank Tishman Speyer. Thank you guys so much for your awesome hospitality. Beautiful building. When I moved here in 1985, I think this was the second largest commercial office building, and it's still one of the top in town. And you guys are doing a great job with the renovation, and really excited about that, Dan. Thank you. Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, Bank of America Private Bank. NFP, I want to thank Rich DePippo, who's a partner with NFP. Rich is a GW alum and donor and has been instrumental in helping us with this event. I want to thank Ryan Wetmore, Imperial Wealth Management, New York Life, Stella Pop, AEG, the Association for Enterprise Growth, the annual DC Innovation Summit, Wharton DC Innovation Summit, Startup Grind, the Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship, Truist Financial, Keiretsu Forum, National Association of Business Owners and Entrepreneurs, COBE, the Baltimore Angels, Center for Advancing Innovation, Institute for Excellence in Sales, FITSE, we have several people from FITSE here, U.S. International Development Center, Georgetown Entrepreneurship, Maryland Tech Council, and Founder Institute. Let's give it up for this awesome group of supporters. Thank you. I also want to thank Print One, who does a great job printing. They're in Bethesda. They're our printer, and I told Jeff I would shout them out. I also want to shout out Brazia, our awesome AV guys, Jamal Lee and company. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your help. And I do have some program notes. We are doing live events, as I said, so we're going to be doing on November 14th, we have Connect Tales, which is a pure networking event in the evening. And Hank Dearden, Hank, where are you? Hank is the guy to see, or you can see me. We have a website. It's on our website, CONNECTpreneur.org. November 14th. November 16th, we're doing CONNECTpreneur in Baltimore in the morning. And December 13th, we're doing CONNECTpreneur in the evening in Tyson's Corner. We also have our virtual rocket pitch on October 27th, next Thursday. These are the largest virtual investor pitch events, and come on out. It's awesome. And then finally, our friends at George Mason University are doing the Accelerate Investor Conference in Fairfax, Virginia, November 2nd and 3rd, ending with a gala at Army Navy Country Club on the 3rd. And tickets are still available. It's an investor conference. They have a lot of VCs and angels signed up, so come on out. With that, I'll be quiet, and I want to turn over the podium to our first speaker, Leona Agarides, who is the Executive Director of the Golden Triangle BID. Thank you.
So thank you, Tien, and thank you to Tishman Speyer for hosting today. And Tien did not mention the food hall downstairs. So when you all are finished this spring, that's where I'm going to be. So as Tien said, my name is Leona Agarides, and I'm the Executive Director of the Golden Triangle Business Improvement District. And our job is to take care of this part of Washington, D.C., the area between the White House, DuPont Circle and Washington Circle. And what we do is we make streets sparkle, we make landscaping pop, and we make parks inviting places. And I do hope that on your way in today, you noticed just how amazing and beautiful this part of town is. In addition to all of those things, however, we take on bold, ambitious projects that support the economic development of this part of town. And one of those projects is the Penn West Innovation and Equity District. And that is a big initiative of the Golden Triangles, of the District of Columbia, and of GW University. Some of you were here in May, and you probably remember seeing me and the deputy mayor sign a $2 million grant agreement to catalyze Penn West. And our goal with GW and the District of Columbia is to create a tech district that is centered on one of the most important streets in the world, right? Pennsylvania Avenue. Nobody else has that. We have that here. And there's a special kind of brand and a special kind of thing that can happen here that really can't happen anywhere else in the world. And since we signed that agreement just a few months ago, Techstars, and you will hear from them in a few minutes, has brought their accelerator to this part of town. And it's really, very exciting endeavor. So why here, right? Tien kind of told you, it's a really great place for innovation. We have amazing transportation access from anywhere in the region, whether it's metro, like this sits on top of a metro, and there are other lines within a block or two away, by vehicle, by railroad, step off right downstairs from International Square, go to Washington National Airport without a problem, without going outside, and in a little while, in a couple weeks, you're gonna be able to go to Paris, right, with Dulles, without even leaving the place. So, but there's also highly educated workforce, it's walkable streets, strong partners, and national and international organizations. But what we think is really special here on top of all of those things is that the people who are here to change the world and to make people's lives better. Chances are, if you've located near the White House, that is an important part of your decision. And we think that aligns really nicely with what technology is doing, right? I mean, ultimately, technology makes people's lives better. And so whether you're here today to pitch your startup or to invest in the next big idea, we want to ask you to consider this neighborhood. Please approach me or one of the other speakers right after or during this program, during the networking, or we have a table over there, or check us out online, right? So with that, I am very excited to introduce our partner, Jim Chung from the George Washington University. Jim is the Associate Vice President for Research at George Washington's very excellent Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So Jim.
Thank you. Whoa, thank you, Leona, for all your leadership in making this happen. Without Leona's leadership and the partnership of DemPed and Techstars and our other partners, this wouldn't be happening. I'm just so thrilled to be part of this. So thank you, Leona, and thank you, Tien, and everyone else who is here who have been contributing to this. My name is Jim Chung. I run the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at GW. I have been the point of contact on the GW side to make sure that this Penn West Equity and Innovation District happens, and we are moving right along. We will be hopefully putting in research institutions. We've got partnerships with some large tech corporations that are coming down the line. We have the Equity Institute from George Washington University that will be here as well. So the Penn West Equity and Innovation District is equity and innovation, not just innovation. So what we're looking to do is put equity at the center of all we're doing, making sure that the technologies and other things that we're developing is fair, trustworthy, and accessible to everybody. So specific initiatives with Wards and 7 making medical care accessible from a clinical perspective, from a legal perspective, et cetera. Those are all the kinds of things that we're working on. In particular, some of the mechanisms we're doing that is our new venture competition at GW. This was selected in 2021 as the #1 competition in the country. We have had over 350 startups and over $1 billion in follow-on financing from those student startups that have come out of there. And you will see some of those startups today that are pitching. 4 of the companies pitching today are coming out of GW. So please pay special attention to them, because GW is also in the top 25 universities worldwide for alumni unicorn founders. So there's a good chance that one of the folks, or 2 or 3 or 4, are building unicorns right now. So pay attention to them. Just some other efforts that we're doing besides just serving our students and faculty is that we are out in the community. Our Entrepreneur Development Network DC, funded by the Wells Fargo Foundation, provides our training, entrepreneurial training, to residents in Washington, D.C. that are interested in learning how to launch companies. And that's been a very successful program. I think we're in our 3rd year of that program. It's free to any of you Washington, D.C. residents. And even if you're not a Washington, D.C. resident, we're also involved with the Virginia version of that program called ICAP. And that's also a free program available to anybody who is interested in learning how to launch a company. So the Penn West Equity and Innovation District would not be possible without a bunch of partnerships. Thank you to Tishman Speyer for this location. I'm really hoping that this will be where we will be building our facilities with the Equity Institute, with the Trustworthy AI Institute, and our Corporate Innovation Lab. And I'm very proud that we are participating with such great partners to make this happen. So this is not something that's just done by one group. It is really a team effort, and I want to thank everybody who's involved. Thank you. And with that being said, I guess I am introducing Dan Dooley, who is the Managing Director of Tishman Speyer and responsible for this building, and someone I expect to be working with closely.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. First of all, I wanted to just welcome you all back to International Square, and I know some of you were here in the spring, and hopefully you can see the progress we're making on the square. And I don't want to steal our next speaker's thunder, but the square is a really special placemaking opportunity for us, and we really think for the community, as much as it's our baby, we think it will benefit all of our surrounding buildings that we own, and obviously just the neighbors in this area of Washington, D.C. The square is really just a very important part of our overall ecosystem that we're building. It's emblematic of our hospitality and community building approach at Tishman Speyer. The communities, hospitality, ESG, innovation, and partnering with our tenants, our customers, are really the core values of Tishman Speyer. On the ESG front, we are building already net zero carbon buildings across the globe. We delivered one in partnership out in San Francisco with the San Francisco Giants. A lot of exciting things going on, but here locally, when the square delivers, it'll be a great thing that our 2 partners will talk about in a moment, but it'll also, for the people in the audience, there's a 160-person conference center downstairs that could be utilized. You'll have a spectacular Spanish restaurant to take your clients to. You can grab a drink at the bar. You can bring your family down for brunch. There's just a lot to it. And we will, given that it's kind of in the center of town, it provides us an opportunity to bring the community of our customers together in one place. When you think of Tishman Speyer, think of us as kind of your one-stop shopping, whether you're a startup entrepreneur of 1 person or you run a company of 500. We have a product called Studio. If you met Joseph earlier today, Joseph Jasinski right over here would be happy to show you that across the street. That's our co-working offering. You can graduate from Studio when the time comes to Studio Private, which is kind of spec suite, ready to go office space that you can lease from 6 months to 15 years as far as we're concerned, or we can host you on a floor like this for a traditional office opportunity. But before I get any further into Tishman Speyer, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Richie Brandenburg and Ruben Garcia, who will run the square. If you've experienced Union Market before, you've indirectly met Richie, and if you've ever gone to Jose Andreas's mini bar, you indirectly met Ruben. So with that, I'll turn it over to these two guys.
Thank you. Hey there. So Ruben and I are both formerly chefs. We're still chefs. We met about 14 years ago. We were brought together by Jose Andres to be his Delta Force, is what he referred to us as. We've both worked at a 3-star Michelin level most of our lives. We've been in the restaurant industry. I left Jose about 10 years ago to open Union Market, and Ruben and I stayed very, very close. We learned a lot of things through the years, and the environment of restaurants has changed. What used to be an 18% is what you should bring to the bottom line in running a restaurant is now a 15%. And really, like with the traditional mom and pop's restaurant, they're really, really starting to struggle, and it's almost not worth it. Something that we're trying to do here is something more than just a food hall where we're going to rent the space and leave it for people to go see. Here, you want to share some pictures? It's a beautiful build out. We're super excited about it, but really the secret sauce to the whole thing is what we're trying to do is run this like a singular restaurant. We're going to use scale and use volume in order to make it more efficient and be able to bring more money to the bottom line and make this actually worth it for the tenant, for our partners. Because these are all partners, these aren't our tenants. We are going to be working with them alongside them. You want to talk a little bit?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Ruben. So what he said, basically, the mission here is just to create a community. There's not, this is at the time that Rich and I, we come with this idea, the first thing that comes to our minds, okay, we need a team to make all this happen. So we start thinking who we want to be part of this project. Basically, are the tenants, are the partners that they're going to be running each one of the stalls. They're key, like the really important key to the success of this project that we do, because at the end of the day, this is not Richie and Ruben's stall market, right? This is gonna be, DC market. This is like, we want, the DC community to be represented here. And what a better place than here in the Golden Triangle? What better here than, partnership with the Tishman, which has been really supported and shared the vision with us since day one. So, we're really, really excited. We see, the great potential that this project is gonna bring to the area. We are really excited that, mostly of everyone who's going to be sharing this space with us downstairs, they are friends. So, what better team, that do it with friends, with people that you really trust and people who really have something to bring back to the community. So this is what it is, the project, right? It's bringing back to the community, get it stronger, and hopefully, creating a business structure that the best thing that can happen, like, 2 or 3 years after we open, there's many other cities, many other people around, US that they copy what we do, because as he said, it's we need to create sustainable businesses. Cities that are becoming, men eaters, right? It's hard, for a young entrepreneur a young kid to, with a big dream of opening a restaurant, it's hard for them to stay in the city, because rents and goods and everything is so out of control, right? So hopefully we are going to become the solution. Hopefully, no, we know we're going to become the solution to many of these problems.
And yeah, that's what we got. Enjoy.
Thank you guys so much. Did you have some more you want to say? You're good? Okay. I'd like to bring up Joycelyn James, who is the Acting Deputy Director, Business Development and Strategy for the District of Columbia Government. Welcome, Joycelyn. And thank you for your support.
Thank you. Good morning. It is so exciting to be back downtown DC. I came for the CONNECTpreneur back in May, and it was probably the first large-scale tech event I had been to since COVID. And it was just exciting to be out among the entrepreneurs. I'm in this energy, and so I'm really excited to be with you all today. I bring you greetings on behalf of Mayor Muriel Bowser, my Deputy Mayor John Falchecchio. Really happy to have folks downtown DC and here in the Golden Triangle bid. While I'm here, I want to recognize my other colleagues from our business development team who have been really active and working with businesses to help them grow and thrive here in the district. I want you guys to raise your hands. Katie Littman, Sarah Adams, and Tiffany Gary. If you have any questions about ways that we can help your business here, funding opportunities, please see them. We're sharing a table with Golden Triangle Bid where we have a QR code. We have listed all of our funding opportunities for fiscal year 23 with our projection of when they're going to launch for applications. So please scan the QR code, check our website, obviously dc.com. If you know my deputy mayor, he's pitched it numerous times. And just see if there's something there for you. And if not, please let us know, because we want to know ways that we can help businesses continue to grow and thrive here in the district. Regarding technology, we are really happy and excited to support technology. It is one of our fastest growing sectors. Technology grew in the district proper by 25% between 2010 and 2020, just outpacing the national average of 24%. So we are very intentional about our investments in technology. We're intentional about investing in an inclusive innovation. And so in that regard, we're really excited about the Penn West Equity and Innovation District that's launching here. I was excited, Jim, to hear about all the things that you all have coming online. And if you don't know Jim, Jim is also a member of our Innovation and Technology Inclusion Council, which helps to advise our office on ways that we can continue to grow our tech and innovation economy in an inclusive manner. So if you have any questions or recommendations on that, please feel free to speak with me or Jim. We are excited that Techstars has come to join us. Last month we participated in one of their announcements during DC Startup Week. Excited they have an office here, a location here in DC, and we're really excited because it is a cohort that is dedicated to equity and inclusion, dedicated to supporting entrepreneurs of color and entrepreneurs of various backgrounds. And so we feel like the projects such as the Penn West complement many of our other equity and inclusion projects. We have the Inclusive Innovation Equity Impact Fund. Applications are open now. That is led by 1863 Ventures. It is focused on DC resident-owned businesses led by women or people of color. That opportunity is also available. You can find out more information about that opportunity on obviously dc.com. And so we're also excited about how I believe GW is going to be involved in our HOPE initiative. It's helping our people endure. And that's an initiative that seeks to catalyze how life sciences and health innovation will address disparities throughout the district. Again, we're always thinking of ways that we can help businesses. Please feel free to talk to me or my other members from the business development team. And we look forward to hearing more today. We look forward to hearing from the companies today who are doing great work. And we want to thank you.
Thank you, Joycelyn. Appreciate all your support. Keith, why don't you come on up? I'd like to introduce you guys to Keith Kami, who's the Managing Director of Techstars. Welcome to Washington.
Thanks so much. Thanks. Appreciate it. Successful entrepreneurs change the world. That's what you're all working on, is having a significant impact. And it turns out, though, that starting a company is quite difficult, and there are many more ways to fail than succeed. And so with that in mind, Techstars started as an experiment. 16 years ago, Boulder, Colorado, Brad Feld of Founder Group fame, David Cohen, and now Governor Jared Polis, Governor of Colorado, had this idea that if we got 10 promising startups together with 100 of our closest friends who can mentor them, who've been through the drill before, whether subject matter experts or startup experts, and surround them for about 3 months to help them see around corners of what might happen next and help them chart a path to a market that could be more successful, or did you think about this or try this? we could set them on a better trajectory to help them save time and cut a couple years out of their journey. And with that, we can greatly improve the odds of success. And that was an experiment. So 16 years ago, turns out the experiment worked. Otherwise, I wouldn't be up here, right? But the Techstars has expanded to over 50 locations around the world. We've now supported over 3,000 startups around the world. Those companies have gone on to raise $20 billion in venture capital with an aggregate market cap of over $80 billion. There are a dozen unicorns in the program and so on. And so the formula of early stage mentorship and a little bit of capital really works. Challenge though, I joined Techstars 5 years ago running our worldwide footprint of accelerators. So all these programs were reporting up to me. I was traveling around the world based here in the DC area. We had no presence here. So fast forward, 15 years into Techstars' existence, no programs here in DC. Needed to fix that, and so we got through the benefit of getting funding from Melinda Gates' Pivotal Ventures, and now from J.P. Morgan to focus on programming for underrepresented founders ethnically and racially in DC, and then also to focus on longevity and older adults with Melinda Gates' funding. We've now made DC one of our biggest hubs in the world for startups within Techstars. And we now support over 30 companies a year coming through programming. We just launched our very first program funded by J.P. Morgan about a month ago, and we will have 30 spots open next year for startups coming through. And we are delighted to have been supported by Leona, by Jim, and then we've got offices right around the corner now supporting companies. So with that, we have a class in place right now that introduced themselves about a month ago. That class is 75% underrepresented in technology, racially, including amazing founders working on really big ideas. If investors, we hear often from investors that we want to diversify our investments. Well, 0.3% of venture capital goes into Black women, as an example. Half of our class is Black women CEOs. If you can't find someone in this class who's amazing to invest in, you're not looking hard enough. So take us up on the offer to find some great investments in underrepresented founders. And with that, we are going to be doing this for years to come. We look forward to enlisting the whole community in this, whether you want to mentor in the program, invest in companies coming through, send us startups who might be of interest. You can get in touch with me at kc@techstars.com. So let me know if you're interested in getting involved, and we appreciate the support of the DC ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Keith. And hopefully you guys will be in contact. Techstars, if you don't know, is one of the world's leading organizations. So congrats on all you guys are doing. Now we have our presentations. We have 10 presenters, 4.5 minutes. I want to bring up Mark Haas, who will introduce our first 5. Mark is the CEO of AEG, which you can tell us a little bit about. I'm a proud investor of AEG and an advisor, and they're very good sponsors of CONNECTpreneur. So thank you for all your support.
Thanks, Tian. As Tian said, so I'm the CEO of AEG. I'm here with my COO, Rosemary Savino, and probably about she is in the back, and about a dozen of our members or soon-to-be members. AEG builds communities of elite business advisors and CEOs, promoting, accelerating business development and peer-to-peer networking relationships. We are building a nationwide ecosystem of city-based membership organizations, and they'll be knit together to provide services to mid-market companies. We are in the middle of a capital raise, so if you are a potential member or an investor, we'd love to talk to you, see you at the table. So our first presenter, they say necessity is the mother of invention. Well, about 200 years ago, a French physician felt it necessary to invent the stethoscope. He was uncomfortable putting his ear to the chests of women to listen to their heart. So he figured there's got to be something to do this. So in 200 years, most of the development and the progress has been focused on the auditory aspects of better diagnosis. But the fact that the stethoscope has gone from person to person to person is a major transmitter of infection. And infection in healthcare field is a big problem. So our first presenter, a stethoscope, has figured out a way, and you can see it demonstrated at their table, of how to prevent that infection transmission for both the clinician as well as the patient. I'd like to introduce Scott Mader, CEO of Aseptoscope.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Thank you all. 4 minutes goes quick, so I'm going to dive right in. And thank you all for your time today. The thing about the stethoscope is it is one of those vectors that touches patients with routine a great deal of the time. The $40 billion problem is healthcare-associated infection. It is an enormous burden on healthcare, and I'm really happy to have the team that I have to come into this with me. We've introduced innovation in the past clinically with great success. We've made great money with many multiples for our investors. The BioSite story is one of those recent stories where we introduced technology that way. The $40 billion problem, HAI, healthcare-associated infection, is a major, major undertaking. The CDC and healthcare providers are very consistent in focusing on major challenges. The cornerstone is hand hygiene. In 2015, it was determined that the stethoscope is appropriately characterized as a clinician's third hand. Same amount of contamination, it touches patients with the same routine, and it is a major vector for transmission. How we do innovation in developing a product that solves the problem, doesn't just serve as a product option, is we look at what the market wants, and then we match it to the design specs and ultimately the release specs of our technology. And that makes us uniquely suited to solve the problem. You can see the technology here, you can see it at the table, and ultimately it is providing a clean glove for the clinician's third hand. And this is something that provides a great market opportunity, a great opportunity to resolve a major healthcare crisis, and the proof's in the pudding. This product works. The studies have been published in the peer review that it is a bulletproof barrier. It is superior to the current standard of care alcohol cleaning. It is superior to other options that exist. And ultimately, in a 7-center, multi-center study, clinicians love it, and they believe that it's going to improve compliance, workflow, and patient safety. So we're happy about that. Clinical acceptance is very high. The Cleveland Clinic, we're flying right from here to go view their results of asking now how patients feel about being protected this way. And they believe it will be a very significant factor in adoption of this technology. So we're very excited about that. This is the conclusion of the Cleveland Clinic's program, really ultimately, that this is a major success. And this is why, with this kind of a market share, in 5 years, you'll see that we actually have $250 million in the bank. We have our first 10 customers, and those 10 customers you can see right here have been some small community hospitals you haven't heard of. You'll also see some customers that you have heard of, whether it's the Cleveland Clinic, Select Specialty, UCSD, City of Hope Cancer Hospital, or the VA's Innovation Center in Orlando that is now assessing the product. So we're very excited about where this is going. We currently have an active investment round that is our bridge to fund the Discover System launch that's underway right now. We have collected $2.4 million. We are seeking another $1.6 million. And so we're excited about that. And of course, our founders invest in every one of our rounds. We've invested $250,000 in this. A due diligence by one of the sponsors, Keiretsu, has just been completed. Happy to provide that to you as well. And we are very thankful to have the time today. This Discover system is one of a significant portfolio of touch-free delivery systems in our IP family. And so you'll see a lot of the other vectors that are coming up are going to resolve this. There's a lot of reasons to consider the investment in Aseptoscope, but one of them is that the team has done this and introduced innovation in the past with great success. Another is that this is a major issue right now that's coming to really to the fruition of the market's attention in a post-pandemic period when everybody is concerned about infection control. So with that, I thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you at the tables. Please stop over.
So millions of people around the world, including a lot of us in this room, are dealing with the after effects of COVID, commonly called long COVID. It's not clear exactly what it is, and there's no particular cure in the offing, but we have the impacts are both psychological, medical, and economic. And the challenge is, what do we actually do about it? So Joel Adams, of First Person, has come up with a solution to mitigate the challenges and symptoms of it. And with Joel, first person, CEO.
I'm going to read, so make sure I don't forget anything and make sure I finish in 4 minutes. First Person Solutions is currently producing and selling the only known treatment for long COVID. Georgia Linders got sick with COVID in the spring of 2020 and never recovered. She can no longer work due to her chronic fatigue. The man in the background is Kent Taylor, former founder and CEO of Texas Roadhouse. After months of chronic fatigue and brain fog due to long COVID, he took his own life at age 65. Unfortunately, these stories are not the exceptions. They are common among the millions of people around the globe suffering from COVID symptoms that never went away. First Person Solutions has taken 25 years of research into molecular signaling and combined that with an Indian herb. The resulting formula inhibits the inflammatory cytokines that cause the symptoms of long COVID, as well as helping the body rebuild its immune system. Our product, Cellwell, is a simple-to-use sublingual drop. That is, you simply put a drop under your tongue, and it is absorbed in your mouth. A 14-day supply costs under $4. Ooh, I have a market slide thing. There's a really large market. Our product Cellwell, we have no competition, none. No other product on the market treats long COVID. People suffering from long COVID are self-prescribing various diets, herbs, and supplements. Many other companies are starting clinical trials on potential treatments for the various symptoms of long COVID. In a marketing research study, we gave Cellwell to 115 people with long COVID. Almost all of them reported a perceived reduction in their long COVID symptoms within 7 days, and over 90% of the subjects said they would highly recommend this to a friend or family member. We are a Delaware corporation with an Indian subsidiary. That subsidiary will manufacture Cellwell and also market Cellwell as an Ayurvedic medicine in India and 15 other countries. The academic research, which we are initiating at a major hospital in Bangalore, will lead to a double-blind study to be done by the North American subsidiary to achieve over-the-counter registration by the FDA in North America by the second quarter of 2023. We have a very strong leadership team. Combined has over 100 years of international experience. Every member of the team has been a CEO of at least one other company. Our CFO took a startup to a $1.1 billion buyout, and we will soon be recruiting for the CEO for the North American subsidiary. We expect significant sales as an Ayurvedic medicine in India starting in the second quarter of 2023, which is the beginning of their cold and flu season in the Southern Hemisphere. We expect sales to start in North America in the spring of 2023. We expect significant sales to start approximately a year from now at the beginning of the cold and flu season, COVID season in 2023 in North America. While we'll sell the equal number of units probably in India and North America, the majority of the dollar value comes from North American sales. We're looking to raise $500,000, which will take us through the preliminary research study, when we expect to do an A round for the North American subsidiary to fund the over-the-counter registration. We expect that A round to go out at approximately $25 million pre-money value. If you were in India, I would tell you to try it. The proof is in the pudding, as my previous speaker said, and this really does treat the symptoms of COVID and long COVID. And I look forward to answering any of your questions and meeting you at our table after the presentation.
Spiking of drinks and food has become a serious and growing problem, especially for younger adults. Various surveys have it from about 10% to almost 50% of young men and women have either reported being drugged or not knowing somebody who has been. So this is a challenge. So there have been a number of opportunities to help improve this. Education doesn't do it, but diagnosis actually does. So our next speaker is founder and CEO of NoCorp, Danya Sherman, who has developed a technology to actually help do that. Danya?
During the summer of 2016, while studying abroad, I was drugged by a newfound friend. And it was only when I returned back to the States that I found I was not alone. It's estimated that 1 out of every 13 college-aged individuals suspect having had a drink laced with a drug. Now, you may be asking yourself, I got it if I can click, thank you. You may be asking yourself, what is available today? Because I knew when I came back, I wanted to find resources. But the only current product available is a coaster capable of testing for 2 drugs and has written across the top what is in the glass, revealing to testers its testing purpose and negating the discretion my friends and I so desperately spoke about wanting, as over 80% of assaults occur between 2 people that know one another. And that's why I created Nope. Nope is a discreet, portable, gender-inclusive empowerment tool against drink spiking. Say Nope to drink spiking. To use Nope, simply place 3 drops of your drink in the designated area. In drug presence, there's a discrete reaction, indicating to users that their drink is not safe for consumption. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is a quote, end quote, date rape drug? And that's an excellent question. There is no such thing as a date rape drug. There are drugs that, when paired with alcohol or other substances, are more commonly utilized for exploitation. We test for classes of drugs that are more commonly found statistically on and around college campuses. Our minimal viable product is capable of detecting 11 drugs, meaning that we are over 5 times as strong as the current product on the market. And those are encompassed within the benzodiazepine family as well as ketamine. We also acknowledge that we're not a replacement for safe drinking practices, so individuals should always remain in the know, meaning they should keep their drink in sight, notice any odd behavior, and as well be able to observe your drink being made. Nope is a category expanding product within the over $10.5 billion industry of personal protective equipment, as well as marketing for other brands that are working on their CSR initiatives. We're working on the more niche market of college and dating aged individuals, as well as institutions on and around college campuses. We've raised over $250,000 of non-dilutive capital. We're patent pending, own all the intellectual property of our test. As well, we have working minimal viable product. We have working products, so come visit us at our booth. I'm happy to show you. We've completed our transfer to GMP manufacturing, as well as partnerships and retail programs with CVS, Target, Global Good Fund, and Halcyon. We've been honored with regional, national, and international press. And I've been honored with Toyota's Mother of Invention and Forbes 30 Under 30. We also have individuals from over 25 countries represented on our waitlist, proving that drug-facilitated sexual assault and crime is an international issue. My name is Danya Sherman, and I'm the founder and CEO, and while I have a technical background, I knew I couldn't do it alone. So I acquired an experienced technical and strategy team, and we're working to combat drug spiking together. My technical team has over 20 years experience developing biological assays, and my strategy team has individuals with manufacturing experience and sensitivity training. NONAP's mission is to empower, educate, and advocate against drug-facilitated sexual assault and crime. And we acknowledged early on you can't empower yourself against an issue for which you're unfamiliar. So we partner with universities, Title IX offices, and police departments, promoting education for individuals statistically most at risk of being affected by drink spiking. Join us as we work together to combat drink spiking one empowerment tool at a time. We're currently raising a seed raise, so if anybody has any connections, either with femtech or consumer tech angels, feel free to get in touch with us, or connections with bars, clubs, and universities in the area. Thank you so much, and I'm over at the booth over here. Thank you.
Anyway, we all know that not having any data leads to bad decisions. A little data is useful, but too much data or unstructured data makes it really hard to make good decisions. They either get delayed or bad decisions. Our next presenter, Javed Sayed, is the founder and CEO of Liftron Data. Is going to tell us how he's going to solve that problem across industries.
Hello, please let me know if you can reach me at the end. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Javed Sayed. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I am the CEO and the co-founder of Liftron Data. What exactly is Liftron Data? Liftron Data lets you connect, normalize, and analyze any data without any engineering requirement, as we are the only end-to-end data mesh and data fabric solution in the industry. The problem, the enterprises which are spending billions of dollars every year for their data decision making, especially in the sector of government and in the financial industry, because they are being affected by productivity, speed, cost, time, density, and complexity. The solution is simple. We are helping them connect with all of this data on your left, with data has been sitting in SaaS application, ERP, and so on, and we will automatically normalize it instantly, where they can query this data and analyze it with the BI and ML tool without any engineering requirement. My vision is simple and clear. I would like to become a snowflake of data mesh and data fabric solution. With our solution, with Liftron Data Developer can do the job of a business analyst, data architect, and an ETL developer, so which is itself 200 times acceleration at 1/10 of the cost. You can do more with less. The market opportunity is huge. The data management market is basically growing with exponentially, where we are targeting the big data analytics sector, which is $655 billion whopping growth in that area. The market that affects Liftron Data is $77 million within that sector. We are targeting $6.5 billion that we're trying to reach. Our revenue model is simple. We provide 14 days free trial. With our SaaS model is starting with $65 per month based on the number of records, as well as our PaaS model is start over $2,000 per month that is based on number of cores. Our marketing strategy is dynamic. We provide and targeting small and medium-sized businesses outreaches. We'll be doing more webinars, podcasts, campaigns, and participating in the conferences. We'll be running some Google Ad targeting for the lookalike customer that we're already serving, and onboarding some system integrators, as well as forming partnership with hyperscalers. Our competition is Flare. We are very flaring up with our competitors because what we provide, our competitions do not. We are the only end-to-end data mesh and data fabric solution in the industry. I'm proud of my team because they are executing my vision fairly, because I've been supported by Shagufta, which she is having 25 years of experience in the space. Kent, he's the ex-Snowflake data heroes. Robert, ex-IBM channel partner, with supported by Andrew Johns, having more than 30 years of specialty expertise in data science. And myself, I'm master's in business intelligence with over 2 decades of experience in product engineering as well as in cloud formations. Our platform roadmap, we have earned around 400,000 revenue generated over 2 years, and we are the only API. Our differentiator is the native API connectors that make us apart. We've been supported by these partners, which are the building block for our success, and we've been supported by these customers who are the main supporters for our platform so far. This specific market has been growing basically with the financial growth, where we are seeing a good projection over the head. We are targeting to close 100 million in a net profit in the next 5 years as Liftron Data scales, and we are giving a good incentive for the investors as well to invest at the right time. What we are looking is $2 million in seed funding. How I would use this money is to spend this money on the sales, targeting more customers, onboarding more customers, and then onboarding more sales and marketing people as well. This is my contact information. Liftron Data is well placed to be basically the next unicorn in the industry. And I can be reached over here if anybody is interested. So please reach out to us. I'll be happy to basically help answer any queries. Thank you.
Okay, you're here. Great, glad to hear it. Next presenter is Mira. It's listed as healthcare you can afford. Mira says they're reinventing healthcare. That's a good thing to do. Allowing you to create your healthcare stack, starting with essential care. Introduce Kang Guang, the CEO of Mira.
Good morning. My name is Kang. I'm the founder and CEO of Mira. And before I start, I'd love to introduce you to my friend Hannah. Hannah's in her late 20s. She just recently moved to New York City to freelance in marketing. And because she's freelancing, she doesn't have any health care. A few months ago, she went onto the exchange and looked for a plan herself. Because of her income, to her shock, the cheapest plan today costs more than $600 a month with an astronomical $5,000 in deductibles. So she decided to go without. While this seems sort of like a one-off situation, Hannah is part of the rising silent middle class. As we speak, 30 million people in this country have zero form of healthcare coverage. Over 52% are middle-income millennial, and in aggregate, they're spending over $36 billion per year. I know this problem very intimately because I was one of them. I came to this country many years ago and spent over 9 years being uninsured. And I became even more passionate about this problem when I became a hospital administrator. I saw how difficult it was for the hospital and the insurance company to help this population without completely disrupting themselves. So here's the pitch. You see, insurance is this sort of all-size-fits-all black box, right? Everybody in this room has the same thing. Very few of us actually understand what it does. Even fewer actually use it, right? But if we don't want to afford it or we can't afford it, there's zero other way to access the US healthcare system. And so I think to myself, and bear with me, what if we stop thinking insurance as a black box and think of it as a cake, right? And use data which we have to figure out which layer of the cake is most utilized, and then unbundle that layer outside of the cake and sell it and democratize it, make it available to everyone regardless your ability to pay. And that's exactly what we've been doing at Mira for the past year. On the way, we're also trying to do away with the very archaic healthcare experience and reintroduce Mira in a brand new experience. Mira is easy to sign up, it's cost less than a cable bill, and it's completely digital. For doctors, Mira is so much better. Instead of having to do the expensive marketing, billing, coding, and wait months for your payment, Mira functions as a gateway and allow transactions to happen seamlessly between the patient and the provider. Adoption turned out to be a little bit better than expected. In the last 18 months, we have signed up over 2,000 clinics, 1,600 labs, and 60,000 pharmacies nationally, which allow us to bring Mira to millions of more people. We currently target the top 7 markets with an aggregate opportunity of revenue near $4 billion. Compared to competitors who have raised hundreds of millions of dollars more, we're the only product that allow our user to go into a clinic thanks to our network. Mira offers a much more comprehensive way to get health care. Our revenue in the past year have grown over 10 times, surpassing $1 million in annual recurring revenue at a 64% profit margin, 3 times higher than the top performing insurance company with a 7 days of payback period. Thanks to our team of fabulous engineer, operators, and advisor, and an angel investor, some of who are actually here, we have done all of that. We achieved the 3 most important things for an early stage startup: building a product, getting the user, and get the revenue, with only less than $3 million in capital raised from the top venture capital firm in the US. And we're currently closing a $2 million round with less than half for participation. So if you're interested in disrupting healthcare with us, you can scan the QR code here to get this deck, take a picture, or talk to me after. Thank you.
Thanks so much, gang. Rooting for you, man. Great idea. So we have 5 more presenters, and we have the space until noon, so make sure investors, please do visit our presenting companies and help them out if you can. I'd like to bring up Anthony Millen, who is founder and chair of Next, powered by Shulman Rogers. Next has been a very long time and loyal supporter of CONNECTpreneur. Thank you guys so much. And Anthony is an entrepreneur. He's a venture capitalist with the Third Sphere family of venture capital funds, and he's also one of the top startup attorneys in the country. And I want to congratulate you on being selected by Legal Week as Startup Law Firm of the Year. And I think in 2 weeks we have another gala that's going to announce another big award for you guys. But come on up, and thank you for everything.
It's great to be here in person with everybody today, and thank you, Tien and Skylar and the whole CONNECTpreneur team for all that you do for our startup ecosystem. Next is an innovative new model for delivering legal services to startup and emerging growth companies. We've productized a broad range of legal services into fixed price packages to make legal services more predictable. We provide a high-touch customer service experience, giving access to seasoned attorneys, and we integrate technology to make the whole experience much more collaborative, transparent, and efficient. And for more information, you can visit us at www.next.law. So the first company that I have the honor of introducing today is NanoCon. NanoCon is finalizing development of a technology for use within the orthopedic market and has developed a novel device to replace damaged cartilage within the knee in a market that is significantly underserved. Please welcome Ben Holmes, CEO of NanoCon.
Wow, thank you very much, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I am Ben Holmes, founder and CEO of NanoCon, and we're an early-stage medical device company which is developing an implant designed to address the types of cartilage damage and loss that's typically associated with arthritis. So when the disease of osteoarthritis starts to present itself, one of the first things that occurs is something called a focal cartilage lesion develops in the joint, and it's basically like a pothole in the surface, in the cartilage surface of the knee. And this is an issue because I hope, obviously, this causes pain to the patient, but if left unaddressed, it leads to the continued breakdown and degeneration of cartilage and other tissues of the joint, eventually reaching the point of advanced joint disease, which necessitates a knee replacement. So there's a real desire clinically to treat these patients much earlier when these lesions are diagnosed, but there really just is not a good solution. So that is where we see NanoCon fitting in. We have developed a easily implantable off-the-shelf device which is designed to stabilize these lesions and then also regenerate true cartilage, which at this point clinically really is the key to reversing the disease. And then there's also a lot of issues both with cost and with logistics, which I'll address on the next slide. We're really looking to compete with three main treatments, and I'm not sure why this is advancing. If someone could do it for me, thank you. The first is microfracture surgery, which is a purely surgical technique. It's easy to do, and it's widely considered the frontline treatment, but the problem is it does not last for very long. Patients usually need a revision surgery within 1 to 2 years, and it takes about a year to recover from it anyway. So really the clinical standards that we're competing with are cadaveric allograft, where living tissue is actually transplanted into the joint, taken from a cadaver. The big problem with this is it's very difficult to source that. And then there are also cell-based products where live cells are extracted and enriched. The big problem here is that they're not more effective, but they're anywhere as expensive to 6 times as expensive. And so there's a real opportunity with what NanoCon is doing, where our device has been demonstrated to be much more effective at growing cartilage, but it's very affordable. So how do we know that this works? We have not been in the clinic yet, but we've been in 3 animal models to date, 2 large animal models, and I think the results are pretty clear. A picture's worth 1,000 words. This goes into the joint, you can clearly see it, and after a period of several months, this is remodeled into healthy cartilage, and we're seeing both visually just a really well reconstructed surface, which is important for function of the joint, and then on MRI and in histology, you can clearly see that this is physiologically matched to healthy regions, and this is real hyaline cartilage, which is one of the real gaps that's been occurring with these attempts to actually try to regrow some kind of tissue. It's not real cartilage, and thus it does not last for the decades that's required to keep these patients from needing a knee replacement eventually. To talk quickly about the market, we're estimating $2 billion annually in the US just for this first indication, but we think that there's a real opportunity to expand into other joints as well. And then finally, we think that as a platform, this technology can be applied to soft tissue reconstruction really anywhere in the body, and that could represent close to a $10 billion annual opportunity. To talk briefly about myself and the team, I've been leading the company since 2016, have raised over $3 million to date, including our recent seed round. I've also gone through a number of high-profile accelerators and incubators with this company. My co-founder, Dr. Castro, is also a highly decorated research in the spaces of biomaterials and cartilage regeneration and has participated in a human clinical trial. And we also have a very strong management team of executives and business leaders from medical devices, orthopedics, and venture capital, and a great team of partners. So to summarize, we are very close to opening a $8 million Series A round. This funding is going to be focused on a first-in-human clinical trial, continuing to work with our development and manufacturing partners, and then also continuing to manage our IP portfolio. So if you'd like to talk about the round, come find me afterward. And if your knees just hurt, I'm happy to show you the device and potentially help you out. So thanks again, everyone.
The next company that I have the honor of introducing is Red Brick LMD. Red Brick is an experienced, vertically integrated developer, owner, asset manager of high-impact real estate focused on ground-up development in Washington, D.C., and is creating transformative buildings and dynamic urban neighborhoods. Please welcome Tricia Miller, Executive Managing Director.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with you. Red Brick is an owner, developer, and asset manager of high-impact real estate, everything focused right here in Washington, D.C. To give you a sense of where our projects are, this photo shows hovering over the Washington Nationals baseball stadium. This is the new, beautiful Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge. This is our neighborhood that we are developing. This is a rendering of the neighborhood. It's called the Bridge District. That is our project that I'll focus on here today. About a mile up the road, however, we've been named twice the master developer at St. Elizabeth's East. We have several projects going on there. And our latest project that we are about to commence is located right over here on 13 waterfront acres that the Navy currently occupies. So we are transforming and building new neighborhoods to benefit the community. We were started in 2003 by Tom Skinner. William Passmore, Louis Dubin, both joined subsequently as founders of the firm. We are the largest private landowner, one of the largest private landowners in Washington, D.C., and the largest private landowner of property located in opportunity zones. Something that's really important to understand about us is we firmly, to our core, believe responsible development and long-term value creation are complementary goals. Notice we focus on high-impact real estate. We mean from an environmental and social standpoint. And we firmly believe that by delivering on those, we can create value for all stakeholders, including our investors. The Bridge District, if you could advance to the next slide, is one of our big projects. This is located in an opportunity zone, as you can see just on the other side of the bridge. It is a beautiful new neighborhood that will be located on 8 vacant acres. We're not displacing anyone. It is adjacent to the metro, to the national park, to trails, to the river, and beautiful views of the skyline. All of our projects, and specifically the Bridge District, are located next to metro, the Green Line specifically. So you can see here is the Bridge District, and here a mile away is St. Elizabeth's. We think being located next to public transportation is key to development going forward. Next slide, please. The Bridge District is made up of 7 parcels. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are dedicated as multifamily. 6 and 7 are targeted for office. We do not build office on spec. We will only do that if it's pre-leased. But with these 7 parcels, we can create place. The multifamily all as retail on the first level that would serve residents as well as serve as a destination location. Parcels 3 and 4 are fully capitalized, $350 million raised to build that building. If you'll go to the next slide, please. This is what's located on parcel 3 and 4, a 750-unit multifamily building, retail on the first level. What we're currently focused on from a capitalization standpoint, next slide, please, is this building, 625-unit multifamily building directly across the street from parcels 3 and 4. This is parcel 2. It is net zero from operations is what we're targeting, has tremendous work from home spaces in all units, as well as communal spaces throughout the building. That is a huge point going forward for residents. Big balconies on almost all of the units. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, these are located in an opportunity zone, and I'll just wrap up very quickly by saying, if you have harvested gains from other investments, from the sale of real estate, a business, you can take those gains, invest it in opportunity zones, defer your taxes to 2026. As long as you leave your gains in for 10 years, any gain earned on that original gain comes out federal tax exempt. It's got to be grounded in good real estate, and we believe we have good real estate at Red Brick. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce SonoStick. SonoStick was established to develop medical devices that can facilitate proper, efficient, and easy intravenous catheter placement. Its mission is to make procedures easier for physicians and healthcare providers and offer patients a more pleasant experience. Please welcome Gary Wakeford, President and CEO of SonoStick.
Well, good morning. I'm Gary Wakeford, Chief Executive Officer for SonoStick. And if you look at our tagline here, get it right the first time. If you don't remember anything else about what I say, if you remember that, you will know who we are and what we do. SonoStick provides a more efficient, more cost-effective option for IV access for difficult stick patients. That's 15% of the 300 million IVs placed every year. We do this while offering patients a more pleasant experience with fewer sticks and fewer complaints. Now, hospitals have a challenge with IV placements. First of all, there's a very poor success rate in getting it on first-time attempt. The average patient takes 2 or more attempts to get it in. We have these 15% of the patients that are considered divas or difficult intravenous access. 15%, those people take 3 or 4 or more sticks. The patient gets irate. It's a very unpleasant experience. It costs the hospital time and money, and literally the patient starts to feel like a pincushion. This is not a good situation for anyone. So hospitals are in need of a better solution. They need something that will help get it right the first time. Think SonoStick. They tend to use portable ultrasound for these types of procedures, and they need a more cost-effective, seamless way to make sure that they get that on the first attempt. Enter SonoStick. We have a very simple idea that works. Right now, imagine you've got a patient, the clinician has portable ultrasound probe in this hand, they've got the needle and the catheter in the right hand, they get access, they can see access, but they get stuck here. They need a third hand to advance the guide wire, or they need to set down their ultrasound probe, which is where they lose their visualization. We have fixed that. With us, they see the access and they just easily start to advance this little track wheel, which advances the wire. What I love about this is when I hand this to a clinician or to a physician, they instantly get it. I don't have to tell them anything. They just look at this and they intuitively know what that guide wire is for, what that track wheel is for. So we are the only one in the market that is specifically designed to enhance ultrasound. We have a completely sterile guide wire that is encased so it will stay sterile. Single-handed use, the only one on the market that offers this, and we have strong indication for peripheral access for those diva patients. Now, we've done a lot with a little. We have 4 US patents. We have FDA approval. We have a very strong manufacturing and distribution partner in MedSource Labs. They are on all of the large GPO contracts. They will add our product to these contracts, and they can help us with a global footprint. We have a very strong medical advisory board and a very active board. Ben Holmes is on our board and has done a tremendous amount helping us get this George Washington University product to this stage. Now, 300 million IVs placed in the US alone each year. 15% of those are divas. That's a 45 million procedure per year opportunity. That's over $1 billion. We're starting with peripheral access because that's a great launching pad. We will go to midlines and PICS and central lines and other opportunities as we further expand this out. We've raised $4 million to date, $2 million friends and families, $2 million from a current lead investor. We're looking to raise $3 to $5 million for Series A, and we will open this up in the next 3 months. Very strong, experienced guide of investors, executive team. We have a world-class medical advisory board who knows what they're doing. We've done this before, and we're going to do it again. So bottom line is we're going places. I would love for you to come along and bring your checkbook.
All right, now I would like to introduce Trace Orthopedics. The Trace tendon fastener repairs low to high-grade partial tears by tacking the loose tissue down into the bone. Please welcome Adam Greenspan, President and CEO of Trace Orthopedics.
Trace Orthopedics is developing a patented tendon repair device that is minimally invasive and is ready for FDA clearance in about 12 months. So it's a game changer. On the left is one of our early prototypes. It is a suture anchor with a wire coil connected to it. It is specially designed for insertion using a minimally invasive 10-gauge needle, and it's ultrasound guided without full anesthesia. So the problem that we're seeing is partial tendon tears specifically are a major unmet need. They occur all over the body, and they are typically, these cases are not even referred for surgery because of cost, associated risk, and then the recovery. So here's a look at the landscape right now. So conservative management is the frontline treatment today. So that includes injections, needling, and a ablation technique, microcutting called tenotomy. This is a growing market despite no evidence of actually achieving the repairs. On the other side is open or arthroscopic surgeries. It's a mature and crowded market. But there's nothing in between that bridges these treatment approaches. So Trace is uniquely positioned here with a repair product that is minimally invasive without OR time. And so here's what got me excited about this technology initially. We're right at the forefront of a paradigm shift for tendon repair. You see, by bringing the treatment out of the operating room, we are eliminating about half of the healthcare cost. And that is what is going to enable us to put these into more patients. I'm going to just skip ahead a couple slides here. So it's a huge market. And we estimate over 31 million cases are reported each year. So we have identified a serviceable market niche that is classified by these partial tear cases that have clean edges, i.e. no shredding, no retraction, and that is most prevalent injuries are in the hip, the shoulder, and the elbow, and we apply our unit cost to create this queued SAM of $2.4 billion, and then our estimate is 10% of that. So I'm going to go back here, and so it is patented, I mentioned. So we do have a patent issued on the product and the method. Plus, we have an option to a patented bioabsorbable alloy coming out of University of Florida. It is 510K-able with the FDA. So we've identified a predicate. It's suture anchor. So we are not going to need clinical trials if we show equivalence. We're having a pre-sub meeting next month, and then we should be cleared in about 12 months. Our team is lean. Together we cover the entire medtech spectrum. I'm operating the company full-time. I have a board. My co-founder is a radiologist. We have a board chair who is an industry sales executive. And then we are going to fill some key roles. We have some contractors as well. And then once we close our A round is when we will add to the team. It's open now, so it is led by Keiretsu Forum Mid-Atlantic. Our diligence report is available if you're a member or if you want to join our syndicate. It's a $1.5 million raise, $4.5 million pre-money valuation. We have about 500K still open. At the table, happy to tell you more about it. So Trace Orthopedics, join us as we give patients back their mobility. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Adam. All right, our final company presenting today is Victory Gear. Victory Gear is the manufacturer and marketer of the only sports insole which is scientifically proven to help athletes run faster, jump higher, while also reducing the chance of injury. Please welcome Steve Wessex, CEO of Victory Gear.
You see how fast I moved up here? I'm wearing the insoles, so it works. It definitely works. So appreciate it, guys. I know I'm the last presenter today, so I'll move this right along. We make the world's best performance insole. It's made from aerospace-grade carbon fiber. It's full length. There's nothing like it. It's patented and it has multiple layers. See if I can pull it out of my pocket. You can come over by the booth and check it out yourself. But the idea is when the athlete bends their foot to run or jump, it stores energy. And then when they push off, it returns the energy explosively. So it helps athletes jump higher and run faster. Oops, take this back. Cool backstory, the product was invented by a certified podorthist to help the US Olympic team more explosive starts. And it worked because in 2010, they won gold for the first time in 62 years. So we're not targeting bobsledders today, but we're targeting all athletes who wear shoes. And these are real test results. So athletes can literally jump an average of 1.6 inches higher and run faster. And these are also interesting results. So we learned early on that our product can protect athletes from injury because of the added support, stability, and shock absorption. A regular insole that's out on the market like a Superfeed or Dr. Scholl's is typically made from plastic and foam, and that's it. And it's good. It provides comfort and arch support. Our product provides comfort and arch support too, but it also provides the energy return and propulsion I showed you by damaging my forearm a second ago. And full foot protection, because the front of the foot is commonly an area that sees a lot of force and can develop a lot of pain. And real shock absorption, because when most insoles talk about shock absorption, they're really just talking about the compression of the foam. We're literally decelerating the athlete as he or she is landing. In the US alone, there's 65 million athletes who could benefit from our product. And just a 1% penetration of that market equals 85 million in sales. So we've been at this for a little while. We've got some great traction. We've sold over 100,000 pairs. We've had 20 million in sales since we started. Another interesting statistic is that 70% of our customers are first-time insole users, which is great because that means we don't have to steal market share from a competitor to have a successful business. So we have a direct-to-consumer model. It's e-commerce, mostly through our own website. Because the product is so unique, there are skeptics out there, that can't work. So we offer a 90-day money-back guarantee. And even with that generous policy, we only have a 5% return rate. We've got a lot of athletes using our products. These are our spokespeople, and we have the rights to use them for our websites and all of our marketing activity. You can see across multiple sports. Julio Rodriguez this year, if you don't recognize that name, he'll probably be the Rookie of the Year. And he's been using our product for the last 3 years, so even in the minor leagues. And there's a lot of other athletes who wear our product, not because we pay them to, but frankly because it works. So right now we have athletes at over 400 pro and college teams using our product. Now, when our founder invented this product, he wasn't expecting golf to be a big sport for us. But it really works in golf because of the energy transfer from the back leg to the front leg. And we've seen an average increase of 2 to 3 miles per hour in club head speed, which translates to more distance. And we've got pros now, people like Padraig Harrington, who love our product not just because of the more distance, but because of less aches and pains. So we've had some nice sales growth. You can see we grew rapidly to over 5 million in 2019. We dipped down a little bit due to the pandemic, but we bounced right back. We've also had successful valuations. We've had other raises before, so you can see the numbers there. Oops. And we plan to continue growing. So in 2023, we expect to hit 10 million in revenues. So we're doing a raise right now because we have some exciting plans. New products coming out. We also have new markets that we want to go into. Come on. Come on. Okay. So brick and mortar retail, military, and occupational. So we're really excited because in 2022, we actually hit break even on net operating profit for the last 4 months. First time ever. And thank you. And we did so because of improved marketing efficiency. You can see the numbers there are pretty exciting, as well as increased gross profit. We're at 85% gross margin right now. So we have an offering. I'll tell you more about it if you're interested. I think I'm kind of running out of time. But we have 1 million opened up in a follow-up round that we're doing. We raised 2 million about a year ago, and very attractive terms, I think. These are some possible exit candidates. My expectations are that as we hit sales of over 20 million, excuse me, we should be able to sell the company for over 100 million in the next 3 or 4 years. Thank you. So that's it. We're patent protected, first mover advantage. We have tons of research, the most researched insole in the world. And I'd love to tell you more about it if you stop by. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Congrats on everything. And Jim, can you get Steve into the GW basketball program? Because we have a new coach and got to make sure that they have a winning season. With that, we're done with the presentation portion. We have the room until noon today. So again, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to our presenters. You guys did great. Where's Hank? Hank is the guy to talk to about November 14th, Connect Tales. November 16th in Baltimore, in person. Next Thursday, virtual, CONNECTpreneur. And November 2nd and 3rd, Accelerate Investor Conference at George Mason University in Fairfax and Army-Navy Country Club in Arlington. Tickets are still available. TJ Master is in the room. You can find TJ and he'll fill you in on that. He's back there. And I want to thank everyone for coming out, celebrating our entrepreneurs. And we will see you guys in Baltimore on we'll see you at Connect Tales on November 14th and then Baltimore on the 16th. Thank you guys for coming. And again, we can stay till noon.